In relationship, the between is created, which has a very special meaning. As I said, between is not just the sum of two individuals, it is actually a third reality that comes into being only when there is true meeting. Real meeting is where real living, healing, and confirmation occurs. Confirmation has to do with not just accepting the other, but affirming the other in the other's existence. That may even include, at times, wrestling with the other. So it isn't all a conditional positive regards. And if you do not have dialogue, you fall into what is so common in discussions even, that is monologue. You hear people talking, and one says, but my point is, and my point is, and you realize that there's no actual meeting going on at all. And this is all too common. Those who care about dialogue don't want to just preside over other people. They really glory in the reality of the between and what may come of that. When we have genuine interhuman interaction in dialogue, because we only become truly human in genuine dialogue with others. Genuine dialogue, then, is a foundation of friendship, love, and community, all of which are really necessary in becoming human. If you listen to the words of popular songs, it says, I saw you last night and got that old feeling, and it's all about the feeling of one person and not about the between at all. And that is so common. And we don't get to community. Dialogue, I feel, is essential, particularly to young people. Young people are taught to glory in their own becoming, and they feel they are the center of existence. And yet, there has to be a point in a young life when it reaches out and meets other. I'm not talking about altruism, but just the genuine back and forth and caring which goes into it. To be young is a glorious thing, but it's when we're young that it is essential we enter into meaningful dialogue with others. You don't grow even into your own full humanity or self if you just stay with yourself, or if you relate to others only as objects to be used or known, rather than as persons and partners. People have asked me what area of research would I want to see developed. There are many. One is, how does the non-conscious part of ourselves enter into dialogue or not? It really is true that what we call the unconscious can actually meet another, which we can experience if we sense someone in the room behind us, or in a wave, even in a handshake, all sorts of things. It would be wonderful if we could have dialogue in government. I was a debater in high school. You're taught to try to win debates, but dialogue is not debate at all. It's not a question of arguing about something, and that's not necessary. I think in our first meeting with Martin Buber, when he came to America in 1951, he said, I would like to teach people in a way not to argue, not to debate. He didn't use that term. In turn, into what we call healing through meeting. You can come across a very skilled practitioner, and yet you feel, I wasn't there at all. I would like to be remembered perhaps as a person who spent maybe 60 years understanding, interpreting, responding to Martin Buber's teachings in his writings, but also in person, since I had 15 years of real dialogue with him, and 15 years of correspondence, and that has been really basic imprint on my life. I wrote a book years ago, actually, called Touchstones of Reality, and it's not something I got from Martin Buber. It's my own phrase, and it's in place of a creed, a belief, even a teaching. It does not go to feelings, certainly. It goes to events. Events in our lives that have stamped us. And it could be all sorts of events, everything from friendship and love to a football team, or perhaps if you were in the, or like myself, a conscientious objector in the Second World War. Any of these things can be in our touchstones. And I take that a step beyond. I feel strongly that if there is to be such a thing as interreligious dialogue, not only do we have to have genuine persons and not just formal representatives of religions, but there has to be what I call a dialogue of touchstones, in which I don't want to impose my own touchstones on others or have them impose it on me. And yet at the same time, if I enter into genuine dialogue with them, I will get some sense of their touchstones of reality. They don't have to spell it out. They don't have to consciously apply it. But it comes. Even if we could affirm something in common, we do so from different standpoints, from different perspectives, from different life experience, from different touchstones. So I believe a dialogue of touchstones is the only realistic way, modern approach to interreligious dialogue.